Hey there guys, and welcome back to Avorion. It's time for a new Let's Play, and today we are going to start off the adventures of Jerry the Junker. There's a couple of things I didn't mention in the setup episode. For example, the fact that we are actually using the beta branch version of the game, which means that there's going to be new things for us to play with, and also with the fact that, unlike the previous episode, I haven't limited myself to not using things like the engine governor bypass thing, or things like disabling torpedoes. Torpedoes are actually very much present, so we are running a huge risk of losing our ship if we're not too careful. And I think that the more I think about this Let's Play and how this particular thing is going to pan out, the more I understand just what am I actually getting myself into, because this is going to be very, very hard to do. Because let's just say that overall, when it comes to Jerry and Jerry's main ship, any sort of damage is our greatest enemy. So the start of this Let's Play is going to be pretty standard for us. I'm going to very quickly take a look at the ships that I have been given by this shipyard. Let's very quickly take a look at all of these types. And what I'm going to do is create a ship that is about... yeah, there we go, about 1,519. This looks like an interesting build. If I flip it on its side afterwards, it's going to be even more interesting. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take my pen and actually write down how much iron I need for this, because one of the ideas is that we cannot stockpile our resources, which means that once I have the money to buy resources, I will have to basically use everything that I buy. And that's kind of hard to do. So, first of all, we're going to find the large claimable rock that is present in every single starting system, which I kind of hope is nearby, because flying around with a drone is kind of problematic. It's going to be very interesting if this place doesn't really have one. This would actually throw a pretty sizable wrench in my plan. No, there it is. It's just that it's, rather far away. Frick. You know, I was actually going to say that, oh, I'm not going to do a lot of the, you know, fast-forward montage thing during the first episode, because I kind of want to overall talk about the goals and my expectations for the Let's Play that are obviously going to be turned upside down within moments. Perhaps even during the first episode themselves. But apparently no, today we're just going to fly a long way away. So, first of all, let's see if Lady Luck consents a smile and we get salvage turrets on the equipment dock at the starting place. And yes, we do. We have... non-independent, there's 3 of those. And there's also a double one, which actually has better damage per second, but it's not aimable. So there's that trade-off. Now the thing about the salvage turrets is that we are actually looking for... so take a look at this. Mining turrets have very specific damage to stone, right? But at the same time, salvage turrets don't seem to have it, and correct me if I'm wrong, and there's a big chance that I am, but the more damage per second your gun is in terms, you know, specifically in terms of salvaging turrets, the better things are. But that's pretty much it. Now, one thing that I'm going to instantly tell you is that point defense chain guns, not something we can really scoff at. We will need these, and we will need quite a few of these. And the thing about the salvage turrets is that we are actually looking for... so take a look at this. Mining turrets have very specific damage to stone, right? But at the same time, salvage turrets don't seem to have it, and we will need these. As already said before in the first, not first, this is the first. As already said in the introduction episode, Jerry the Junker is a junker, so he is a scrapper, and by nature, junkers are opportunists. Which means that avoiding receiving damage and taking sides is probably going to be the most best thing, but I don't really want to end up... Whoa, you are... red to me. Who are you? And where's your home sector so I can avoid it like the plague? Here we go. So, yeah. One thing that I actually am going to do, apart from selling this asteroid, there we go, is I will consider attacking civilian targets. And not for the cargo, no. I'm gonna be attacking them simply because they are easy targets most of the time, and I need that salvage. And that's the idea. Anyway, I'm gonna grab those turrets right now, and after that we're actually going to need to go to the nearest resource station over there, and we are going to need to buy exactly the amount that I specified before. It is 1,519 units of iron, and perhaps a little bit more. The one very interesting thing about this Let's Play is going to be seeing all those rocks around, you know, asteroids which we would usually mine out for resources, and then realizing, well, I'm currently flying a character that has no idea how mining works or how to do it. So those things are pretty much useless for us. What is that? Oh, that's a secret stash. Interesting. I'm actually going to very quickly trade equipment. First things first, we are going to sell our mining turrets. Instead, we are going to buy the following salvaging turrets. Like so. We are also going to grab these... Oh, I actually didn't need to get that one because I don't really have any titanium blocks to actually use to put it on. But there we go. What else? Civilian, armed or unarmed. This is going to be something we also need. This is most definitely... Oh. Ooh, I like this one. I'm gonna grab that as well. And I would really like this thing. So, the reason why I just bought so many things at the same time is that I see a secret stash over there, and I'm just sitting there and very, very hoping that something, like, whatever it is that I'm going to get out of it is going to be either enough to recuperate those costs that we just did, or at least it's going to be interesting enough to sell to actually get the moonies for it. Obviously, this might turn disastrous in just a sec as I open this thing and figure out that it's not... Ooh, cargo upgrade. And I got some money out of it. But at the same time, I really don't care for that cargo upgrade, so I'm just going to flog it off right now. Like, right now. Now, another thing is that I'm not going to be... I'm not going to be flying all the way to the resource depot. I'm actually going to jump out of the system. Trade equipment, sell items, and cargo upgrade. There we go. Much, much better. Okay, let's jump out. So, there is nothing here. That's good. And now we enter the drone in this system. And we should basically spawn right at the resource depot. Yes. I don't want to. There we go. So we're going to trade resources. We are going to buy from station. Look at this frickin' price tag. Holy hell. There we go. We spent 15,000 on that. And that's pretty much it. We're gonna build ship. Style 3, I think it was 3. And we are going to move it up to 1,519. Oh, there it is. Name! Oh, this is way too... I'm sorry, but this is way too symmetrical. It's against the rules. If I flip it on its side, it's going to look better. Actually, I'm just gonna go with this thing and flip it on its side. This will be good enough. I'm gonna call it the Junker Town. For anyone who has played the first Fallout, this name will be very much familiar. Alright, I need actually the starting iron as well. Okay, there we go. Smaller version. Christ. You are insufferable. There we go. Okay, gents, we have received the very bare basics of what our ship can do. And the first thing we're going to do is flip it onto its side. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. See? Much better. No more reconstruction tokens. I could buy those here, right? Let's move that camera a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I mean, this doesn't look half bad for our first shippy. I've seen worse. I've built worse. Cough. Chonk. Cough. I wonder what the stopping potential is. And by stopping potential, I actually mean break. Yeah, receiving any sort of damage is going to be the bane of this Let's Play. So I just might as well point this out right now. Ooh, this thing does not like to stop. Yep, there we go. So repair dock, reconstruction. And buy token. Okay, good. If we lose the ship, we can reconstruct it. So if we actually die, it's not really that big of a big deal. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to start off with giving us not the salvage turrets. No. First of all, I want to do the point defense chain gun. Because we are going to be using this to attack pirates once they do come around. This was the titanium one. Okay. Fair enough. And there we go. So that's it. But as you can see, we do have 50 titanium left. And what I'm going to do is use that in order to do some solar panels. 10 of them. It only provides very little amount, but for a ship this size, it's actually pretty good. So I'm going to put them somewhere here. Again, I have to use the grid size and the scale step to make this thing as uneven as possible. Let's buy some crew. Let's actually hire more crew than we need. So I'm going to buy, let's say, 3 of these, 3 of these. And there's no gunners here. Okay. I mean, that kind of sucks, but fair enough. Do you have gunners? No, you have just miners. Christ. Where is the... oh, there it is. And we have gunners here. Might as well grab more than one. Like, I'm gonna try to do my best to actually use professional crewmen instead of just the generic ones. But that is about it. Oof. Almost made a mistake. Okay, there we go. 1,000. And let's use that in order to provide a little bit more generation when it comes to solar panels. Because that is something that I have a feeling we'll need. The question is, where can I place these things where there's as little chance to get them destroyed? Okay, there we go. I think this is going to perhaps not solve, but aid in our energy situation. Yeah, something like that. Hopefully I won't need to rebuild that instantly. But now, we're going to tackle a much bigger problem. Because our ship is quite shite when it comes to maneuvering. I really kind of wish the game didn't draw these things. Like, I know where the exits are. Like, I can see them. You don't need to show me. The bigger the part is, the worse it gets. Something like that. There you go. No, that's clearly not the same shape. Sure, why not? Okay, now let's talk about stopping power, because that is legitimately an issue. Like, I want this thing to stop. Even though it itself might not want to do that. No. Do you think that's enough? I'd say that's enough. One more. For good measure. On each side. Yeah, there we go. I'm content with that. I am content. But now we need to make sure that this thing doesn't just instantly fall apart. And that is easier said than done. For it requires armor. And again, the whole idea of this Let's Play is to make this thing as scrappy as possible. And again, like, that's just one piece of iron. Hello, yes, I have become armored. This legit looks so silly sometimes. But at the same time, it's kind of a unique design, if anything else. I mean, nothing that I would call elegant. But it's practical. I would say that's fine. So the actual question here is, this guy is clearly hostile to these guys, but the problem is, if I attack him right now, will this cause issues? Because sometimes it does. Okay guys, I think that for the first episode we have gotten far enough, although I do need to use up all of the iron. And the easiest way to do that is to add thicker plates. And that's not hull that we need, we actually need iron armor. I think those were... No? Yeah, for a moment there I thought pirates were attacking and I was very happy. Oh, why doesn't it default to the right freaking... my ship is not liking this. My ship is saying that it's becoming a chunky boy. Ah, you're fine. I'm sure you're just fine. You just need more control surfaces, right? This thing really does look like a monstrosity now, doesn't it? Just provide me with stopping power. So many exposed thrusters. This is going to be terrible. Like, any sort of damage is just going to be the end of me. Just going to add plates here, I guess. Nothing really much I can do. There we go. We are fully out of iron. Oh, I hate this thing already. Okay, ladies and gents, we have fulfilled our first set of requirements for episode 1. We have created our ship, and we are ready to rumble. Although, I think that in terms of crew, when I will need to actually salvage things, I need to grab a few more crew members in terms of miners. So, let's do that right now. Like, let's just say 6 of them should be fine. Yeah. The ship is one large control surface, but it's still managed to be just slightly on the heavy side. I mean, it's not as bad as, like, you know, Apex Chunklet, but it's getting there. Let's get 5. No, 6. It has to be an even number. Everything needs to be clean and tidy. And so far, so good. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to stop here. And in the next episode, hopefully we're going to get attacked by, say, you know, aliens or something along those lines. But till then, stay safe.